All right, so hope you're doing well. If you couldn't make it to today's A period hangout, we started with Warrior Wednesday hangout theme. So if you've probably heard this song played a bunch of times at school, Mr. Holden started with the basketball theme. So I'll play it for a little bit. We came too far to turn back now. Fight till the end, fight for the win. We're warriors, we're warriors, we're warriors, we're warriors. We'll fight till the end, fight. All right, so then we went into the math for today, and in today's math work, we basically went over the checkpoints and we did some questions too. So I'm probably this video is gonna be short, but part of the video that I want you to do is spend some time actually doing the 4 questions we did in class, that Google Hangout class. So when you did the checkpoints, most people did well with the first 2. Number 1 was you take half of 7 and then square it. So that would be 3.5 squared, which is 12.25. And then you write it like that. Number 2, some people got this wrong, not too many, but just realize it's a minus plus after you complete the square. Half of -6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then you complete the square, write it like this. And then because it's a minus plus, when you write the binomial squared, it's going to be a minus 3. Some people wrote this as x plus 3 squared, and that's not right. You wanted to write it that way. 3 and 4, we had a few little issues, but not too bad as a whole. Number 3 checkpoint, the answer was 9 or -1. Okay, 9 or -1. So with this one, half of -8 is -4. -4 squared is 16. And then you add 16 on both sides, and this really is a nice situation when you have 2 perfects on both sides, a perfect square trinomial and a perfect square number. So then you know at the end you're not going to get any decimals, because I was actually showing Noah this, like when you remember back to factoring, this is a minus plus, so you square root both sides of the a and the c term, and you get 1 and -4, or 4, but it's a minus plus, so you write that as minus. Then square root, so that's both sides, plus or minus 5, and when you add 4 to both sides, you get that. Sorry, my daughter's talking about something. This one, you push it to the right, okay? Once you push it to the right, you're good by minus 125 on both sides. This one's important because you want to have this first term be 1. So I divided everything by 5, okay? Completed the square by adding 36, no problem. And then things get a little because there's a square root of 11. But the square root of 11, I think, was 3.3, if I remember correctly, plus or minus. And the answer was -9.3 or -2.7. Don't forget there's a tagline in this video. Just wait for it. So then we looked at, where was it? We looked at these answers, okay? So let's go through these answers from the classwork. Number 1 was answer 1. Number 2 was answer 2. Number 3 was answer 3. We're going to look at this one more closely. 20% of the class got this wrong. Number 4 was -6.8. Number 5 was answer 1. Number 6 and 7 were also answer 1. Number 7 was answer 1 again. Wait, 5, 6, and 7 was answer 1. Number 8, we're going to look at this one closely, was -7.3. Number 9 was cool because you got no solution. Number 10 was answer 2. Okay, so then we spent some time looking at some of those problems. So let's start with the one that was no solution. I thought that was cool. Number 9. So it took us a while to get through it, but the bottom line is, so we divide everything by 11. That got a little disgusting, but then we completed the square, and notice what stays on the right hand side, a negative number. So when you square root a negative number, it's no solution. So we thought that was cool. We looked at numbers 3 and 4 as well. And then we ended with some practice. So number 3, divide everything by 3. Push that to the right, add 4, because that's a perfect square. You end up getting -9 and 5. And number 8, this one I pushed it to the right first. So add 145 to both sides, divide everything by 11, and then you complete the square, and you end up getting another double perfect situation, and it comes out to -7, 3. First part of the tagline today is golden, like the color gold, but golden. All right, and then the last part we did in class was I'm going to have you pause the video. I want you to try these 4 questions. This is how we ended class. So if you try these 4 questions, pause it and press play in about 4 to 5 minutes when you finish. So, sorry, before you pause it, complete the square and then write it as a square binomial. And then 3 and 4, I want you to just solve. 2 and 4 come out to fractions. 1 and 3 don't be any fractions. All right, let's go over the answers and then we'll call it a day. So number 1, you should have got this. So I completed the square. Half of 8 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. And I wrote it like that. Number 2, half of 5 is 5 halves, and 5 halves squared, 25 fourths. And 25 fourths, so that's what it looks like as a perfect square trinomial. And then when you get a square binomial, it looks like that. Number 3, did you get 12 and -6? Yeah, you did. Hopefully. Brought it to the right. Good there. Half of 6 is 9. 9, half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. 2 perfects. Works out beautifully, and it's good. Number 4. Oof. That took some time, I bet. So here, you had to bring it to the right. Then half of 7 squared is 12.25. And then it got really decimally and fractiony depending on how you did it. But then you take the perfect square trinomial is -3.5 squared, and the square root of that is that. And then it came out to this equation, and then their final answer was this. Then we ended class with this beautiful song here. If you haven't seen it yet, it was the tribute for your teachers. I think I come up towards the middle. Oh, there I am. I knew it was somewhere. Going back. All right. Oh, jeez. All right. Oh, sorry. Now I feel like I have to. I'm after. And of course, so I put all my kushas there for you. Keep calm, blue team rocks. Okay. So the rest of the tagline for today is, so I said golden, and that song that we watched in the beginning was the Golden State Warriors theme song in 2013. So the rest of the tagline is Golden State Warriors. So email me the tagline, Golden State Warriors. Have a good day.